What's up, mobile gamers? It's Dronzer Gigs, and I decided that I wanted to upload a video on Sunday. That way we could get the tier list out on Monday to start off the week. So we are jumping into a match. We just did Fade on the last one, and we are kind of throwing, in my opinion, so far, because we have to play Victor, and it's not going to be fun. I am going to try to be a little bit more unbiased because, as you guys know, I am not a big fan of Victor. We'll drop the beat real quick. Alright, that might have been a little loud, but anyways, we are playing Victor, which I'm not necessarily excited for, but I am going to keep an open mind because I want to make sure I give as unbiased an opinion on these heroes as I can. And first thing I'm going to say is, dang, this guy's trash. Alright, we are going to try to block some damage, dash over to the health real quick, and then see if we can't. I was going to try to get the Neon, but yep, we're dead. And I just, oh my god, dude, Victor is, I think he's bad. He does have his ultimate, which is going to be nice once we get it, but the ultimate does not do too much. We are gonna get the jams going, but if you look at his charge, it's a pretty slow cooldown on the charges, so it's not the best. I'm kind of surprised they have not gotten more. So we do have, I can hear somebody over on this side here. Let's see if they come up on us. Now I should be in the center area here, but unfortunately I just want to help out my teammates a little bit more. See if we can't help out against the Ruby. And then there was the, yeah, unfortunately, he definitely needs a bigger hitbox so that you can hit your dashes a little bit more. But you can see we're getting all of our kills stolen, pretty much. And is that the, who's that, the Ruby? Need to get the Ruby once she comes into play here. And this is where you're really going to see things take a turn for the worse. We do have our ultimate. We're going to save it. See if we can't. We're gonna go after the Ruby and switch our target here. I'd rather go after the Ruby and die than get hit by all of these guys here. We'll dash in, grab the healer. Oh, I missed. Okay, hang on. We're probably gonna die here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really, we're dead here for sure. I'm not really the biggest fan of Victor, you guys, I gotta say. I think if his ult was faster, he'd be really good. What they should do is bring back the stun. If they brought back the stun, he'd be a B, A tier legend, maybe even S if you're strong with him. But at this point, it's he's not really a lost cause per se, but he is not. Yep. Oh, they got a Gatlin. That is the match for sure. If our Johnny can survive, we might be okay. So I'm just gonna waste my charges so I can get to the point. We lost the Johnny. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna make it in time to help out. Michelle. I do wish. Oh, we're dead. I wish the when he spins his gun, I forget what it's called. I wish that would do damage if they're in the radius. I think that'd be strong. It's pretty much gonna be, how can we help Victor get better, because are we dead? We might be dead. Yeah, there we go. Get out of my game. Even with Victor, I'm better than you are. Alright, what do we got? Not too much longer here. Grab some damage. And honestly, with Victor, this is gonna sound kind of weird, but I don't focus the tick. I focus the support. I think it's a better play. Yep, we're dead. Dude, the Gatlin, man. If Gatlin wasn't in the game, I think Victor might not be terrible, but with Gatlin in the game, he's just a sitting duck. And the gun spin right here, it's not really worth using. He just can't counter anybody with it. I think they need to make his ultimate come up faster for sure. Oh, whoops, I accidentally canceled my shotgun spin. See if we can't grab the kill on the Ruby. And it's honestly, his gun is just so bad. Let's see if we get the shield going. Get the dash on the... Oh, we got killed by the Gatlin from behind. That's always seems to be the case. They just won this match. For sure. Yeah, that's too bad. But, as always, we started out with the loss. Seems like that's the channel's MO. Victor's terrible. He's so bad. We did get SVP, though. I mean, we didn't do too terrible, if you consider who we were playing. 6-6. And I will say, if you guys are playing with Victor and you're like, I think he's good, all the power to you. I think that he's somewhat decent. Obviously, if you didn't have all the other tanks with their shields, he'd be very good. He'd be very strong. He'd have enough health. The problem for every tank, honestly, in the game is Gatlin. And if you're looking at all of these tanks, if you look at like countering Gatlin as a whole, he's the only one that doesn't have pretty much anything. Everybody else has some sort of counter to Gatlin, and like Fort's does a little bit better than Victor's. And then you have somebody like Zero Kelvin who straight up just goes invincible for however long in his snowball form. I think Victor's going to be on the bottom. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by that. But I will say he's very good in 3v3. It's just in 5v5 you have so much to contend with. And without that stun, he just does not have what it takes. Because if you look at these Vanguard heroes, right? He's a die Vanguard, so he has to close the gap. And he does not have something that makes it worthwhile to close the gap. If you use Fade, it does stun them and you can then hit them with your regular gun. But if you're using somebody like Victor, you dash in, it does a little bit of damage, and that's it. And it's not enough. They need to bring back the stun, only if it's a half-second stun or a full second. Just enough for you to at least get one shot off for free. If they even did a small stun that got one shot off, I think he'd be very, very good. Because right now, the dash is nice for movement, the shield ability is nice for damage mitigation, but his ult is too slow. He needs a buff to his ult, absolutely for sure, 100%. And he also needs a buff to his dashes, in my opinion. Maybe make them do more damage as well. I know that's kind of not necessarily the best option, but I think it's one of the only things you can do without making him very bad. See if we can't get the Aletta. I mean, it is an Aletta, so I'm not too surprised we got her. But, you know, Alettas can be kind of tricky because they jump around a lot. I do think, for a lot of you, any of you that watched Jordy's video, I don't think that Zero Kelvin's on the bottom at all. That was pretty crazy of him to put that there. I mean, with the amount of damage you can put out, and then, you know, his snowball is actually movable, which is very nice. Like, look at that. I can't even solo a Gloria. It's just so sad. It is very, very sad to see out here in the old T3 arena scene. So we'll go grab some health real quick. We do have a good team. Oh, thank you. What a nice gentleman. What a nice gentleman. He doesn't have the top hat on, but he must not have that skin. And who is that? Oh, we're dead? Oh, it's just a Mark. Okay, Mark's a little bit easier to deal with. But the fact that you can't even 1v1 this, like this Gloria right here, if I would have hit that dash, I might have been able to get her, but Just the amount of skill it takes. Oh yeah, and her shell is gonna be a problem for sure. We did get her, but we got down to low health in order to do it. Oh, and we're definitely dead to the Aletta here.
Just kidding.
Thought I saw her. See if she can... Yep, we're just gonna run. Unfortunately, there's nothing else we can do. Yeah. I didn't have any health, and challenging her at full health was not really an option. I will say he's growing on me. If I was in 3v3, I think Victor wouldn't be too bad. The problem is, he gets very easily overwhelmed in 5v5. It is not worth... Ooh, we're gonna see if we can't grab the fade real quick here. Get the spin going. There we go. Spin for the win.
Victory!
I don't know, you guys. Let me know your thoughts. I think Victor's nice. He is pretty decent. If you're a Victor main, all the power to you. We did get MVP. So it's definitely doable. You know what I mean? The problem is where you go from here is the tier list and where all the other Vanguards stack up to Victor. And unfortunately, I don't think he has what it takes. He needs a little bit of love. He needs that little boost to his abilities to make him viable in ranked and in competitive play. And if you're not playing him in 3v3, he needs that help. Even in 5v5 casual, I would not suggest playing Victor. He just does not have enough in his kit. And he doesn't have enough to stack up to the other Vanguards. And I guarantee you, most people will think that we're throwing when we play Victor. That's just kind of how it is. I think he does decent with a support system around him. And you'll see right now I'm going to stick by the Ruby and give her that extra help she needs. And she's going to just blossom. She's going to be absolutely incredible. You already know she's going to be very high on the tier list. But Victor's tricky. Victor's tough. I don't know where to place him without seeming like I'm just putting him low because I hate him. So hopefully you guys can understand I'm trying to be unbiased with my Victor thoughts. I like the dash. The dash is nice. It needs a stun or a bigger hitbox or more damage or something. The dash needs something to bring it in line with all of the other abilities that make you gain movement. And what I will also say, his ultimate needs a buff. It needs to be something that brings its charge up faster. And I think if you did that, a small change to his dash, and then an ultimate boost, I think he'd be decent. Wouldn't be like the strongest or anything like that. Let's see if we can't get the Ruby. We're gonna die here. She's just too strong. Yeah. I was hoping to get a little backup, but it doesn't look like they wanted to leave the objective, which is fair. I mean, staying on the objective is always the go-to plan. Unfortunately, I just wanted to show you guys. She's just so much better than Victor, and it makes me sad to say that because I really want to like Victor. I think if he was good, I might enjoy him, but he just does not bring enough to the table when you compare him to the other Vanguard heroes. I mean, that Skady killed us very easily, and the Ruby is still alive. And I just think that he's very outclassed, and it sucks. I really want to like Victor. I wish I enjoyed him because before his changes, when he had the stuns on the dash, I thought he was very good. And I actually, if he still had the stun on his dash, he'd be A tier. Because with this ability and the other ability to stun, it just changes the game. The fact that you can stun people is very big, and it's honestly what he needs to compete with Fade. If Fade didn't stun, then you could say Victor doesn't stun either. But unfortunately, it just is not. Like, that Hualing almost got us. That should pretty much never happen. Oh, a Gatlin.
Triple kill.
It's so discouraging. Oh, a Gatlin. It's like, oh, do they not have a Gatlin? We have a chance at winning? That's how I feel. Gatlin is crazy, crazy good. And if you combine all of his flaws with the fact that Gatlin is in the game, I mean, she's gonna get that health. She didn't take it. She didn't take the health. Oh, she did get it. Okay, okay. Hang on. Alright. Yep, see if we can't. Yep, there we go. She's got us. That's just... No flanker is going to lose to Skate. Except for Vanguard, I mean. No Vanguard is going to lose to Skatey unless it's a fade and he charges at you and he has no abilities and blah blah blah. But even then, I would rather be a fade in that situation than a Victor. So they do have a Jabali, and that's like one of the only times you'll see it be good. My main point of concern is gonna be the Gatlin. And with the ultimate Victor's good. If they put the cooldown on half of the time, like the timer was halved, he'd be insane. He'd be very good. I think the ultimate would save his kit. He needs the stun on his other abilities. 8 seconds. I think we have the... Yep, and unfortunately the Skatey's just gonna come 1v1 us. Yeah, they got all of them here. And that's where you just lose. It is unfortunate. I don't want to throw the game for my team, but it's a Victor video. You know what I mean? There's not much I can do. If his ultimate was twice as fast, I'd have a chance at getting it before the timer runs out. And honestly, if I got his ultimate, I think we would have a chance. We would have a big chance at me getting some kills and pulling through for the team. But unfortunately, we had to rely on the other teammates, which is good. It's nice. But Victor needs to be stronger, and I think all of you can agree with that. I think the buff to his dash would be nice. If they gave him the stun, he'd be perfect. He'd be an A tier Vanguard, and I'd play him. I'd get a skin for him, and I'd play him. He'd be good, and I'd enjoy him. He wouldn't be terrible, and he'd probably be over somebody like Zero Kelvin or Fort or something like that, because that stun is what he needs. He does not have a safe way to close the gap the way Fade does, and the upside to Fade is you'll say, oh, Fade, when he does his dash, he's very easy to shoot. It's not as fast as Victor's. You can see him coming from a mile away. It's free shots. However, if Fade lands his dash, his rush, you are going to take a lot of damage. And it should be that way for Victor. If he lands his dash, it does not do much damage at all. My Victor's fully maxed, right? You go over here and you look at his tackle charge. 1400 damage. That is not much at all. Just to show you guys here, where is Fade? We'll show you guys his ability. Right? So the dash damage is 1400. Very nice. But the dash against the wall damage is 3000. That 3000 is what he needs. And he has damage mitigation. If you go to Victor, they need to basically copy what Fade has. As much as I don't like that, it's what he needs. He needs damage mitigation or something. He needs his tackle charge to be worthwhile. If you use it right now, it's not really worth it except for a movement ability. And then at that point, why not just play somebody else? All the other heroes in the Vanguard class have better abilities. And honestly, this is what's holding him back. We'll put this in the thumbnail for you guys because I really want to emphasize what he could be. If they had left him with the stun, or if they gave him like 3000 damage on his rush, I think he'd be a little bit better. He'd be in a place where I could say, oh, Victor is usable, even against Gatlin or something like that. The problem is Gatlin hard counters him and he's useless. And if they don't have a Gatlin, they have a better tank. They have better damage heroes. He's a sitting duck and he can't do anything. And even if he tries to close the gap, it's not enough. It doesn't do enough. He closes the gap. He's on you. What do? Oh, you just keep shooting. If Fade closes the gap, what do? Well, you're either A, dead from the follow-up shot plus the charge, or you're low health and he's right on you and he can shoot again or use his ultimate or whatever. And that is where Victor falls short. And it's one of the reasons he's probably going to rank pretty low. But I do want to be unbiased. If you guys see this video and you're like, oh my god, Victor's so good, why are you doing this? I want to know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below, because I will be taking everything you guys say into account when we do the tier list on Monday. So with that out of the way, that's Victor. I really want to like him. I really, really want to like him. I think he'd be super fun if he was just a little bit better. If he had that dash where it stuns or a faster ultimate or both, I think he'd be awesome. He'd be perfectly balanced and you'd see a lot more of him. He'd be able to be used more, because if you can't close the gap as a Vanguard, you're dead. If you don't have a way to damage mitigate while you close the gap, you're dead. And I think that's where Victor falls short. So let me know your guys' opinions, and we will see you guys when we do the tier list on Monday. So that's the video for you guys. See ya on Monday. Peace out.